guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to do an expansion and also color edit a photo. So, for those of you who do not know what an expansion is basically making the photo bigger. And the purpose of that is to get lots of detail in your photos and also get the most depth of field. So, what I do when doing an expansion, the first thing is I make the canvas size bigger. So, for those of you who do not know shortcuts, you can go to Image and then Canvas Size, or you can do Alt Control C. And then I just guess what to make the width and the height. So I'm just going to say 200 by 72 because I'm not changing the height in this photo. So okay. So as you can see, this photo just got a lot wider. Now, what you do is you have to put the other photos in, you have to go to and get your other photos. So you just bring them in and then they'll show up right here. So I already got my photos, so I'm just going to move them in using the move tool. And you drag it in. So now you have to try and find out where it matches in the photo. So what I do is I lower the opacity and then zoom in and try and figure out the best place it matches. So once you bring the photo in, you can lower the opacity and you try and find where the picture best fits. So here I can see that this tree goes right here. And so I just match it up. And then I put a layer mask so that I can paint and erase the picture where I want it and do not want it. So right now I'm erasing what was here, because if I didn't erase, it would look like this. And I do not want my photo to look like that. So I am erasing that part of the photo that was there. And I can make the line go away. And I can just make it look overall more real. Okay, so now that looks pretty good. But I only expanded up here. So now I would have to get the photos and put them everywhere else. But to save time, I'm just going to go ahead and crop the photo back or hide the images, so I just have this one. Okay. So now to edit color. For color, I see lots of yellows, so I'm going to go to Selective Color down here and click that. Then I'm going to go to the yellows and I'm going to just play around basically with all the colors. Okay, and I was looking at the grass and I thought that looked pretty cool. But as you can see, her hair looks a little green, and I do not want that. So whenever you do these functions, it automatically comes with a layer mask. So if you paint with black on white, then with white on white, it will delete it. So it will take it back to its normal color. So I'm just going to paint over the hair to take it back to its normal color. As you can see, it already starts to look really good. And I'm going to paint over her skin because it changed some of her skin. Okay, so let's see the difference. I'm also going to play around with the reds because I usually bring up the yellows and the reds because it changes the skin tone drastically and makes it so much more better. And you can see how her shirt color is changing too. So let's see the difference. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with curves. And I'm going to bring this part up and this part down a tiny bit to create contrast in the image. And then I'm going to go to curves again and pull this up. And then I'm going to invert it, which means I'm going to make it so it's not visible anymore, which I'm going to do by clicking Control I. When that happens, I'm going to be able to paint on the parts that I want to be brighter. And so I'm going to basically go in to find her more natural places where they would be bright. So right here it looks brighter than other places in the photo. Right here, and right here, right here. And I'm just basically going to do that for everywhere that I see. The brush. You can make the brush smaller or bigger by clicking the bracket button on your keyboard. Okay. Right here. Later. I'm going to lower the opacity though because here. And let me see. Right here you can see how it's lighter, so I'm going to go in, lighten her leg up. Okay. And you can do that with anywhere on the body. So, let's see how it looks with and without the brightness. Subtle change. Now we're going to do the same thing but with the dark parts. So take this area down here, which is the shadows, and pull it down. Then click Control I, and then get your paintbrush, and then paint the areas that you would like to be darker. So I would like this area to be darker, and this part on her leg to be darker, just to bring it out. And if it's too dark, then you can always, so that doesn't look very believable, so if it's too dark, you can always just go in and lower the opacity. Like that. I don't know if I like that either. I might just not do her leg. And you can always erase what you did. Awesome. Okay. So now you can go in and say paint her hair. Brush smaller. Do the slight changes. And it makes a difference, but it's not a huge difference. Okay. So we'll see the changes with that. Okay. And I also noticed that there's a lot of green right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to select color, and I'm going to go to the greens and play with the tree colors a bit. I like to make the trees look as green as possible. Okay, now I see that the grass does not look realistic. So I'm going to invert, and as you can see the grass went back to how I had it. But then I'm going to paint on the changes that I did because there's a layer mask. I'm going to paint on the changes to the trees. Make sure your brush is at 100% if you would like. So you can see that the trees are getting greener. And so that's how I do it. Thanks for watching, guys.